What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Vesemir to my Geralt. It's Casey. What's up, dude?
Not much, man. What's up with you?
I'm ready to have a good time and talk about some comics.
I mean, we have news to talk about this week too.
I know I actually have more news to talk about than comics, I think. So,
Yeah, I was looking at my stack of comics. I'm like, this seems light, but whatever.
all right, let's get right into it. I'll do a little small one first here, as opposed to a big small one. Amazon is supposedly going to acquire MGM Studios for $8.5 billion. So that's just another that we can add to the list of major acquisitions this year, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I I wonder what all they're gonna do with like James Bond, because I think that's like the main one they're getting with this. So they're probably like, oh, we're gonna do a Money Penny movie and all of the other characters, which I blame Marvel for that type of nonsense.
Right.
No, no one wants the backstory movie.
If anything, we want the Q backstory.
Even then, who's clamoring for that?
Yeah. I think that if any, I don't know about like standalone movies, but they might do like short series, like shows for some of
Yeah,
those.
for the old Prime.
Yeah, but we'll see what comes with that.
Okay, so my first bit of news, it's comic related, and I'm pretty excited about it. Daniel Warren Johnson is going to be doing a new Image book called Do a Power Bomb. He's writing and drawing. It's coming out in June 15th. It's all pro wrestling. So, like, if you follow Daniel Warren Johnson, you'd know he's a big wrestling fan and he draws the wrestling awesome. So, this should be pretty incredible.
Yeah, I hope that it's everything that you want it to be, man.
Even though you're not a wrestling fan, but you are a Warren Johnson fan, will you be at least perusing it?
I mean, I might flip through it and look at the art, but sadly, there's just so much out there that this does not make the cut for
Right on.
books that Jake pick up. But I like him as a creator and I wish him all the best. Okay, so it was teased by the director, but we could possibly be getting Mark Ruffalo's Hulk in the Deadpool 3 movie. The director posted a picture on Twitter of Ryan Reynolds and Mark Ruffalo like laying on the ground with their heads together, and there was like a tub in front of them, and the tub had a Deadpool sticker and a Hulk sticker on it. So I don't know if you saw that,
I didn't.
but obviously people are thinking that that's going to happen, which could be cool.
It could be really cool. I'd be all about it. I mean, more Hulk, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah. And, they're kind of making Hulk goofy in the Marvel universe anyway. So I think it could pair well.
And even if he's not goofy, like it could still work really well with him as the straight man and, Deadpool being Deadpool. It would
Yeah,
work even better that way, probably.
I agree. Now, you haven't seen the other two movies. Would you go see this one?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm probably gonna see the next Doctor Strange, but I still won't see the first one.
I think he has improved with each appearance, and just in my opinion.
Well, that's good. I mean, he was fun in the Spider-Man, nostalgia fest. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping just for more nostalgia. Like that's all I want from this.
Oh, I'm sure we're gonna get plenty.
Yeah, same here. They know that's how to make money off of millennials.
Yeah.
Okay, so more Madam Web news, because this is what we're all wanting.
This podcast has been asking for it. It's about time they delivered.
The Madam Webcast. But Sydney Sweeney, who I don't know who that is joining the cast of Madam Web. No word on who she's playing, but she's your typical white girl. So that's cool, I guess.
Okay. Can't wait to see who she's playing.
Yeah. You excited about Madam Web now?
I mean, I've already purchased tickets.
I hope you purchased 2.
Oh yeah, we're going, buddy. All right, moving right along. We'll talk about some comic. Well, no, I won't talk about comic stuff yet. This is like I almost didn't include it because we've just been beating the old dead horse with this, but a Daredevil reboot, and I put Daredevil reboot in quotes, was listed on a screen capture of a Production Weekly publication, which means that maybe it is actually happening. I know we talk about the rumors of that all the time, but this was listed in an official publication, so maybe it is.
That'd be awesome if it is. I'm hopeful. I'm not gonna say, I buy it, but I did see that too. I don't know if this is real, but did you see the maybe real She-Hulk trailer thing that dropped this weekend?
I heard about it, but I didn't look at it.
Yeah, because like this, I wasn't sure if it was real because the special effects are still like not great. And you'd think if it was gonna like, I mean, I know the other one they were like early on and stuff, so I was like, I don't know if this one is, but we get some Cox action in it, which is pretty sweet.
Nice.
And then one other thing on the Daredevil talk, and the Cox talk, I should say, but since Disney Plus has all of the Netflix verse now, they have allegedly taken out all of the naughty sex scenes and other inappropriate things. They've just like taken that all away. So that's
Really?
like a good, that's what I've heard. You might want to check it out for yourself. But yeah, that's like 20 minutes out of like the second episode of Jessica Jones.
It might as well have just taken out that whole episode.
Yeah, right.
Huh. Well, I don't know. Like I understand that it's Disney, but like you can still set some parental blocks or whatever. Like I don't see why everything has to be PG.
No, I don't get it either. Or at least put it on Hulu, which would
they own.
Yeah, which like I could then watch it, so that'd be cool.
Well, we'll see. We're all still hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think we're gonna get more Daredevil Charlie Cox. The rest of them, it's anybody's guess, but I think Cox is getting something.
I mean, several episodes back, I dropped that little tidbit that what Kristen Ritter, was doing. She said she was doing more Jessica Jones stuff. So who knows, man?
Yeah, I hope she comes back. The only one that I'm like, you can just stay away is Iron Fist. I couldn't stand him, but so you're a Mandalorian fan, right? You like the Star Wars.
I've been known to dabble.
Well, Christopher Lloyd of Uncle Fester fame is set to appear in Mandalorian. I didn't see who he's gonna play, but I love Christopher Lloyd. Huh?
Uncle Fester.
Yeah, he's just gonna be Mando's old Uncle Fester.
I'm sure he'll be great, whatever role he plays. It'll probably be old scientist guy.
Yeah, crazy eccentric scientist.
Yeah.
Like if it's something else, I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but he's very good at that.
He's a rugged bounty hunter.
Yeah. He's
I mean
the
that
playboy
the
bounty hunter.
Playboy,
Yeah.
yeah. I think the show is 9.5 out of 10. So honestly, I'm whatever they do, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm ready for it.
And I think it's just cool that it seems like these, I know he's not like A list, but still like a well beloved actor is probably watching it. Probably
Yeah,
a Star Wars fan is like, hey, can I get in on this? And they're like, yeah, you know.
yeah,
So
I agree. Favreau seems like the kind of guy that would welcome something like that.
oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Now on to some comic news. The Punisher War Journal series is coming back as a short series of one-shots. The first one is going to be Punisher War Journal Blitz, and that's written by Torrin Groenbeck, who did that incredible Valkyrie series that I wouldn't shut up about, and art by Lon Medina. So I'm not really like a big Punisher reader, so this will be like a game day decision for me, but I think it's cool that War Journal's coming back. That's one of those beloved 90s series, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's just weird to be doing it now when he's the hand. So I'm like, is it connected to that at all? Or is it just
I think some are.
okay? That's it. Well, that might be cool. Who
Yeah.
knows? Lady Styx is rumored to be the primary villain in the Blue Beetle movie. So, I mean, I don't know anything about the character, but if you're a
So
big Blue
so
Beetle
then
fan, maybe
you're not prepared for my Casey Namer first appearance question.
I'm not, but I'm gonna go with Blue Beetle.
No.
Oh, well, dang.
Do you remember the weekly series that was just called 52?
I do. I actually like that.
Well, issue number 31 is her first appearance from December of 2006. So if anybody listening has a copy of that, hold on to it. It's probably jumped up to about $20 today if I had to guess, and it could keep climbing. So
Was that like the Blue Beetle new 52 though? Like or 52 issue? Or
gosh, that I
who was
don't
the, you
know.
know,
I'll Google the cover real quick. I forgot that they kind of did that with some of them. No, it looks like it says the origin of Robin, and then I'm not sure who's on the cover. It looks like she's on the cover, but then a bunch of guys with guns and masks. So I don't know what's going on there. I've actually never read 52, so
you didn't? I
nah.
thought you did with the maybe this was a different book, but the Blue Devil Black Lightning. They did like a 52 for that, I thought. I thought you read that.
That was a DC Presents.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. But I think it's issue 13 of that series is also the first appearance of old Kate Kane as Batwoman. So
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
yeah, so 52 is full of little surprises like that.
I just hope my oh man, I had a really funny joke, but I can't think of the book's name now. The Blackhawks or whatever, where they tried to make them a thing again, but they're like gonna make them the shield of DC. It's like I hope my Blackhawk books are gonna be worth something.
Man, Blackhawk and Lady Blackhawk, some of the coolest costumes in comics, in my opinion.
The original, these new ones,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like, yeah, the new ones, not a fan of any of that.
Right. I know that you and I are both, when it comes to Blue Beetle, Ted Kord fans primarily, but I really hope that this movie does well, and hopefully the Lady Styx which after I Googled her, I was like, oh, that could look cool live action if the effects are, done right. So hopefully it all works out.
That's my main concern though with a Blue Beetle movie is like that's heavy effects, and that's like I think it's still supposed to be HBO Max, so it's like
I don't know. See, I keep hearing that it's going to be theatrical now, so I don't know.
it's I think it's gonna be like we're gonna know more of what the heck is going on with Warner Brothers after the merger stops.
Yeah.
Because like there's a lot of I guess rumblings about the Snyderverse now and all this nonsense, which it's like I mean, I'm to the point now where I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen anything with the Snyderverse. And it's like maybe we'll be surprised. But yeah, I think we're gonna know more as far as releases once the merger fully happens, whenever that's gonna be.
Right. Also, man, I really, really need that Blue Beetle suit to look awesome. Like give her the old Iron Man kind of treatment where like
Yeah.
his suit always looks freaking awesome.
I agree.
Okay, more comic stuff. Taboo and B. Earl, who did that last Werewolf by Night series, are launching Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man in June. Juan Ferreira is going to do the art, so it's going to look amazing. That's going to be a 5-issue miniseries, and it's supposed to be Spider-Man in Los Angeles dealing with Demon Bear. So I think that could be pretty cool. And since I liked that Werewolf by Night series, I'm actually willing to give this a shot.
My one question though, which Spider-Man is it? Because like, is it gonna be Ben? Is he gonna just be in LA now? Is he gonna be the LI Spider-Man? Or is it gonna be Miles, or will it be Petey? Or whichever other Spider-Man that's out there that I don't know about.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I assume that it's going to be Peter, but Ben Riley could certainly be cool. I don't think it's Miles though. I thought I
doubt
saw a
Miles
picture
too.
and I thought it was like a regular Spider-Man suit, but who
Yeah.
knows? Is that something that interests you at all?
A little bit. If it's Ben, I'd be more interested than Peter, just because it's like I'm probably going to be reading regular Spider-Man at that point, and I'm not a big enough Spider-Man fan to be like, yes, all 500 Spider titles, please. So,
yeah, I feel you.
But I do doubt it's Miles too, since he is still a teenager. I don't think he's going to be able to whip over to LA and back without his LI, without his parents getting upset at him.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So Paul Dano, off of the heels of being the Riddler, is writing a Riddler Year One comic set to come out in October. Now, I didn't see who the artist was, but that might be cool. Paul Dano seems like a legitimate nerd. Like when he was talking with the rest of them about comics, he was telling all of them they need to read the Court of Owls and other stuff like that. So it was pretty cool because he's like, oh, you haven't read Court of Owls? Yeah, well, that's really good. It's like, man, I've been there, Paul, so I get
it. Yeah, that's cool. I'm sure that's like a dream come true, even for I'll say he's becoming a relatively well-known actor, so good for him. Hopefully it all pans out.
Sure. You gonna check it out?
I might. I don't know. I'm never really one to go out of my way to read a story about a villain unless I really like him. But maybe. Okay. This one I was pretty excited for. G. Willow Wilson and Marcio Takara are launching a Poison Ivy 6-issue miniseries in June. Don't really know what it's going to be about. They've done a lot of weird stuff with Poison Ivy in the last year or two. So Wilson's a good enough writer. Takara, amazing artist. He's gonna make Poison Ivy and all those the flowers and foliage look amazing. So I think this will be pretty cool.
I wonder if they're gonna make her the new icon of the green or whatever, because it's been talked about for years at this point. So that's like the one thought that comes to my brain.
Right. Is this something you'd read?
Probably not. I read way too much stuff as it is. It's the same thing with like the Paul Dano one. It's like unless there's like insanely rave reviews about either of those, I probably won't check it out.
I mean, the way I see it, it's like, okay, I'm reading some limited series now that'll probably be wrapped up, and I'll be like, yeah, I could pick this up. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so Mark Waid's Irredeemable universe is going to be made into a movie or series on Netflix. It was very unclear in the article I read, but it's going to be made by James Samuel. It's they're going to be combining Irredeemable and Incorruptible into one thing, so that's kind of got me thinking it's going to be a series. But either way, it's going to be hard to combine both of those because there's not a lot of cross sections between the two. Like they were both very much their separate things. It's gonna be interesting though. I guess they had like because I follow Mark Waid on Facebook, and he's like, I've been on the phone with them talking about different plot stuff throughout, so like that's promising. If Mark Waid's actually helping in some way, it should make it a little bit better.
Right.
But I'm pretty pumped.
And I'm sure at this point he gets probably a pretty good say in what happens in it.
More than likely. I don't know how that works. So, with Boom and all that stuff. So, but hope so.
I hope it's good. I always root for Mark Waid mostly.
Yeah,
especially
same.
when it comes to comics. So I actually I'm sad to say I've never read either of those, and I know that you've raved about them, and lots of people have raved about them. But it's just one of those things.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The Incorruptible, there's a lot of things that I'm gonna be like, they probably can't do this in a TV show. Like his sidekick is nicknamed Jailbait, and she's rather young.
Oh no,
That's not a thing that's gonna happen more than likely. And then Irredeemable, it's good, but it gets out there. Like you're just kind of like, what? But I
is
still
it like
really
a
like
super long series?
Yeah, I think it because I did it all trade waiting, and I think it got up to like 22 or 23.
Ooh, okay. Okay,
So
that's just too much. That's why people that are always like, oh man, read Invincible. I'm like, dude, it's like 175 issues.
yeah,
I'm just not. I'm sorry. There's too much stuff I want to read.
yeah. It was one of those things where Comic Vine was early on talking about it, and so like I think I got like the first 3 trades for Christmas one year. So then like every couple years for Christmas, I'd get like a stack of the trades because like the trades were like 5 issues or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. I would just say get like the omnibus or something.
Which is still very daunting.
Yeah,
but who knows?
who owns a comic shop anyway?
Well, here's the thing. It's like, okay, will Diamond have any of this in print? Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay, so this one I am not so excited for, but Marvel confirms that there will be a company-wide tie-in issues for their Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Judgment Day event that's happening this summer. They've abbreviated it to AXE, Judgment Day. It's like, dude, I don't want one. Like, I wait once a month to read like Thor or Iron Fist. I don't want one of those months to be an Axe tie-in that doesn't effing matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and they're going to, they're going to. So,
But just hear me out though. If it's this big, dumb crossover, but you get like Thor fighting, I don't know, Icarus or whatever Eternal, and then they're also fighting like Juggernaut with it's Ryan Otley, right? Doing the art.
no, it's Nick Klein.
Oh, Nick Klein. Ryan Otley's does Hulk, but Nick Klein's art with Donny Cates writing, I'm fine with that. I mean, it's
If
one
it
thing.
is
It's like,
that,
yeah, like if they're doing like dumb fights, like when it was Avengers versus X-Men, it was just like they were just
Casey,
having
we
these
do
random.
not speak of Avengers versus X-Men.
I mean, it's bad from a storytelling perspective, but like some of the fights were fun. Yeah. And that's all you can hope for from this. So if it's like that, that'd be pretty sweet.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, if it's gonna happen, all we can do is prepare for it now, like we are, and embrace it. But we'll see.
Okay, so officially, Godzilla versus Kong sequel is happening. It's been announced. I'm excited. So, like, I'm just gonna toss a question to you. What would you want to see from a Kong and Godzilla fighting each other sequel?
Well, what I want is probably what isn't going to happen. We had Mecha Godzilla. Now I want them to fight the king.
He's dead.
The Mecha King.
I mean, he's just a skull now, though, man.
I don't know how the mecha stuff works. They had Mecha Godzilla when Godzilla was alive. They can have Mecha Ghidorah, even though regular Ghidorah is dead.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, like, there's nothing left of regular Ghidorah except for his skull.
Well, slap it on a robot body and I'm happy.
I mean, see, like, I want Mothra back, and I think that'd be cool, and maybe a cage fight this time.
What was his name? Was it Manda, the really big like dragon snake thing? Yeah. I want a Manda return because I know that he's not really taken that seriously, but the name's cool and he always looked cool to me, so I say bring him in.
I always thought him and Varen looked really cool, and then I watched the actual like their original movies, and holy crap, Varen's movie is one of the worst kaiju movies I've ever seen. Partly because I saw the American version, because it was like a Japanese American co-production, and it's just this like terrible thing. Like the American one is, because they're just like, we don't like what they're doing. We're gonna just make up our own stuff. And so like it just jumps around, and a lot of it's just like random stuff with the American guy like talking while all the action's happening over away from them. So he's just like, yeah, there they are taking care of this stuff. It's a rough watch.
I think Baron is cool. My whole thing is like, man, they do so many scenes of Godzilla underwater. It's like, please bring Manda back.
Yeah. And I think Aftershock, I didn't read them, but in like one of the Godzilla sequel comics, there's a monster that's like, they can't use Manda's name because of copyright, but it's Manda. Like just like the way it's designed, and it's like, this is what you're doing. I got
it. Was because Manda was in Destroy All Monsters, right?
Yeah.
But he's not in it long, if I remember. Doesn't he get taken care of pretty quick?
So like he shows up in that, but like the real reason is because the suits, you can tell too, it's pretty rough at this point. So they just like had it there in the background, and they're like, there it is. Because he was in Atragon. That's the one movie he'd been in prior to that. And That's just kind of so. Like he gets beat by a super powered submarine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of Atragon.
It's it's one of those ones that like I was going through all of the monsters that showed up in Destroy All Monsters because I wanted to see all of their movies, and that was one of the ones I had to cross off the list. And like I said, it's so.
Yeah, I mean I just Googled it and the cover art sure is cool. Shame the movie wasn't better. Do you want to tag on that other little thing since it's kind of related?
Yeah. So, and this is also gonna get me on my soapbox a little bit, but Akira Takarada, he was a Godzilla actor. He's been in like odds are if you've seen a Showa Godzilla movie, you've seen him. He's been in so many different ones from the original to Astro Monster to I think it was the Terror from the Deep and just so many of them. Great actor, also a great dude. I've met him a few times. He passed away at 87. It's very sad. He had actually like a whole lineup of cons that he was going to this year already. I think it was a heart attack that happened, but basically, me on my soapbox, I'm just going to say, if you ever get the chance to meet someone who's like meant something to you as a kid, unless they're charging like, you know, a butt ton of money and you just can't afford it. But if you're just like on the fence about it, just do it. Like always meet your heroes because like worst case scenario, they might be a little short with you. But like he was very kind the time I met him. Every single person that's ever met him, or like the dude was the nicest person. And like I wish I would have been to G Fest more and could have met him multiple times. Because very, very nice. Like I waited like 30 minutes to meet him, and then like he was very apologetic that it took so long that we got to meet, got our picture together, which is like the nicest thing. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and it was just awesome. So, like I said, if you ever get the chance to meet your heroes, do it.
All right. RIP. My final thing was announced today, Casey, and my excitement level is through the roof. CD Projekt Red, which is the game studio behind the Witcher games, posted a picture today of a Witcher medallion in the snow, and underneath it said a new Witcher saga begins, which means we're getting a new game. And they announced that they had partnered up with Unreal Engine 5 that they were going to work with going forward for their games. So hopefully one of two things happens, at least in my paradise. All right. The first one is it's centered around Ciri, which is the girl that's with Geralt, for those that don't know or have maybe watched the show only. But anyway, she gets one of the possible endings of The Witcher 3. Spoiler alert, after all this time, is Ciri becomes a Witcher and goes off and does her own thing. This game taking place right after that happens would be pretty awesome. The other thing is one that I've talked about before, because the Witcher medallion doesn't really look like any of the other medallions that we know. So maybe it's a Witcher school that is from the past, and this game takes place pre-Geralt, and maybe we can finally make our own Witchers and choose which school we go through. Or they create this school and tell a story about its downfall or something like that. Lots and lots of options. Either way, whatever happens, I'm so excited that like we officially have a new Witcher game in the works, whatever it may be. A lot of people are kind of crapping on the company because Cyberpunk was kind of a bomb. But I know that they've expanded the workforce, and literally, I mean, as far as I know, that's like their only big blunder. So I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they learned their lesson from Cyberpunk, and whatever they put out with this Witcher game will be polished and ready to go and back to the amazing games that all the other Witcher games were.
Wasn't with Cyberpunk they were just trying to do too much basically too? Or am I oversimplifying it?
I mean, I didn't really play it because I heard of all the problems, but I guess a lot of mechanics were just broken. It was like really buggy.
Okay.
Maybe it was from trying to do too much, but and I know they've put in a ton of work after the fact to try to make it playable, which I think also still says something. Normally, companies like EA or whatever will just be like, well, that's what you get. And, you're still going to buy the next one we put out.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I'm very much a CD Project Red stan. So, as the kids say, so hopefully this one is amazing.
All right. 2 questions for you. Excuse me. First one, do you think if they do like the lady Witcher from the, continuing type thing, that would actually hurt their sales because it's a lady Witcher? They're not, getting money, that sweet draw money.
I don't know, because I mean, people freaking love these games, dude. Like Witcher 3 won Game of the Year when it came out. People are still playing it. They're doing the big graphics overhaul for 3. I think people love all the characters. They love Ciri, Yennefer, Triss, Geralt, Dandelion, like all of them. So like if a game were to come out focused on one of those, I think all the diehards would play it and be fine with Geralt either just having a cameo, or honestly, the way that 3 ended, he gets a perfect ending. And I really don't want him to continue because he doesn't need to. He got his happy ending. So I don't know. I'm sure that there would be some poop heads on the internet that would make a big thing of it, but I don't think it would hurt too much.
Right. And then question 2, since it's a saga, do you think this means another trilogy?
Short answer, yes, probably. And that's the thing too, is like if it's the whole my dream of creating my own Witcher and choosing my own school, that's not really like a saga type thing. But also, do they have enough material planned out to do a series story for 3 more games? Who knows? Or maybe it's that third option I mentioned about the downfall of a school, and they just do that with multiple schools. Who knows? But yes, I do think it's going to be another, at least, trilogy.
And then lastly, because I like to say things that just make you uncomfortable, what if it takes place in the future? So it's like Grand Theft Witcher. Like he's got guns, he can pick up hookers, he drives cars, you can put in the code to get a tank, that stuff.
It's hard to imagine anything I would hate more than that.
Well, Brian Bendis is actually going to be doing all of the dialogue. And when I say all, I mean he's writing it, but also voice acting it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you found a way to make me not excited, even though none of that's happening.
It's kind of a gift.
Okay. I think that is the end of the news finally. So yeah, now we're going to take our ad break and then we'll talk comics. So we will be right back. All right, Casey, a little birdie tells me that you saw the Batman.
I did.
Let's talk about it.
All right, man. So first, I'm going to say like one thing that I thought was kind of silly. Okay, I'll talk positives. All the acting in it is very good.
Well, let's just start off with, did you like it?
It was fine. It was good. Like it's not, not like the people that are like, this is the best Batman. It's like, I guess, I don't know. It's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna, like I didn't leave the movie theater going like, my life is complete. It was just like, cool.
Okay.
Like I'd give it like a 6.5 probably. Like I liked it.
6 seems low if you liked it.
No, I mean, I don't think I would see it again in theaters.
Well, me either. But I mean, it'd have to be something real cool for me to see it twice in theaters.
Well, let's just say our buddy Callan was like, hey, let's go watch Batman at the Roxy for free. Just the three of us, the three amigos. I'd be like, it's 3 hours. Can we do something else?
Yeah. Now, see, most people I talked to are pretty split. I personally didn't. I wasn't like checking my watch, like, oh man, like the 3 hour thing didn't bother me. It didn't really feel like too much of a drag.
It didn't feel like a drag, but that's still 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of things I would rather do for 3 hours, like watch Lord of the Rings. I'm kidding.
Why? I'm not kidding.
I mean, first off, who, like, honestly, as a Lord of the Rings fan, you really watching just one?
Oh,
you're like,
no.
boy, yeah, you're doing all three. You're not gonna be like, boy, I really just want to watch the Two Towers only today.
That's not even registering that.
Yeah,
You don't do that.
So yeah, I wouldn't want to just watch one Lord of the Rings unless it's the animated one.
Okay. Well, carry on. You can talk about your likes and dislikes.
Yeah. So the acting in it is really, really good. I thought it was well casted for the most part. There's nothing that way that I disliked. But it's like, the first off, like, this is a goofy complaint. Wayne Manor, it just looks like they took the Wayne Manor from like a Tim Burton wet dream. Like, there is no way Thomas and Martha, when they were alive, like, oh yeah, we're running for mayor while we're living in our Hot Topic factory. It's like, get out of here. There's no, like, unless angsty little Bruce Wayne was like, well, now I can finally make it look like how I feel on the inside. Like, that's not a thing. And then this happens in every Batman movie outside of like Adam West, but like the chase scene, it annoys me to no end, where it's like Bruce is chasing after Oswald, and he's like getting closer, then he goes to the side and he just lets him shoot him for a little bit, then he goes back, and then at the very end of it he jumps over and just hits him in the back. And it's like, you could have done this from the start, sir. And those people that are, made the cool explosion, they're dead. There is no way they are surviving this. So I'm glad you got the penguin.
Yeah, but does him doing that right away make for a fun chase scene?
No, but it makes sense.
Okay, but it's a comic book movie.
Yeah, but okay. So there's stuff that just annoys me anyway. And then when you're trying to make it like a serious, gritty movie, and then you're just doing a big Fast and the Furious style chase scene, that doesn't work. And then also, like, Batman, he came off in this movie less like a superhero and more like just a noir detective, in the fact that, like, he didn't even really sneak around. Like, I like Batman sneaking into, the different things, like him just going in and be like, I want to talk to the penguin, and then beats up the guys. It's like, he should have just been like, Oz is like standing in his thing drinking, and he like, oh, and he freaks out that Batman's there. And I know it's like, oh, you can make the argument like, oh, it's an early Batman, but still,
also he did try that once. He went in as Bruce, well, not as Bruce Wayne, but he went in as a person.
That was later on though.
Oh, was it?
That's
I,
yeah,
I
because
forget which.
he's like cutting the things. This is when he wants to talk to him about the Russian chick,
Okay.
and yeah, and so I was like, dude, why do it like this? Like it just I don't know, and then like he's not. They kept making fun of the fact that he wasn't a good detective, which it's like because everyone's like, oh, it's such a detective movie, and then it's like, oh, he doesn't know the Spanish, right? And Oz makes fun of him. He doesn't know Riddler's plan. He couldn't figure that out. All of the code breaking was really, for the most part, done by Alfred, except for like the first one. It, it's just like there was like writing things that I just didn't agree with or really enjoy from it, but it's a perfectly fine movie. I'm excited for more building of the universe for sure.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen it, tell me more about what you think, though, man. Like, I want to hear your like less censored version of your opinion.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't hate that he wasn't a perfect detective, honestly. Like the Spanish thing is whatever, but I don't know. I kind of liked that it was more of a detective take instead of him being a superhero because we've seen that plenty, and I thought this was kind of a fresh take. Whenever I walked out of it, I was like, man, like even the part when like you're saying you don't like when he just walks in places as the Batman, but it kind of took me to the Arkham games where he's like walking through Arkham, next to Joker, while he's all bundled up, just walking through as Batman to make sure that Joker gets to the thing. Like, I don't know. It all just, I walked out of there and I was like, man, I want to go play Arkham Asylum again because
Yeah,
that's the vibe that the movie gave me. And, and honestly, that's like outside of the animated series, like the Arkham Asylum Batman, that's like my favorite Batman. And this movie gave me those kind of vibes. So,
right on, man.
but I mean, if that's not your thing, then that's not your thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just there's too much of the walking around slowly. It's like I like my Batman just kind of like getting to the crime scene first and then like doing this other stuff. There was certain aspects of like him at the crime scene which was cool, like where he would look and see stuff, but then like at the very end he didn't notice any of that, and it took that goofy cop that I actually like the cop character that was like, hey, it's crazy that he used this carpenter's tool to kill him. He's like, oh, the what? It's just like he went from being like, oh, I can see everything in this first crime scene to now not even knowing that this is a carpet tucker or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't want them to rely too heavily on like him being early Batman, but like if it is year two Batman, I also don't want him to be perfect with everything and know everything. Like if he knew that's what it was and he knew Riddler's plan, like everything I think would just be like too good. And I complain about that in the comics too much. So the
yeah,
fact that he messes up sometimes or in this movie, it doesn't bother me.
yeah, I don't know. I just I think I it's weird. I always complain about this in comics. But I would love to see him getting his training to become Batman, to see like where, like in the comics, he's had like 50 different masters that help him in all these different aspects. In this, it sounds like Alfred taught him how to fight and he's teaching himself how to do the detective stuff. If that's the case, then all of my complaints are out the window. But since we don't know that, and I'm putting him as how he would be in the comics, as far as like his knowledge and all of his people have taught him shit, then to me it's like, oh, he should know this stuff. Where what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out in future movies.
I mean, we could just cast someone else. Like just there's like there has to be like at least 100 brooding type, moderately scrawny actors that could also play like a younger Bruce Wayne, murder, like training era Bruce Wayne. We could just do an HBO series with that.
Careful, they'll hear you.
I'd watch it.
I mean, I would too, but we're also complaining about everybody getting a darn spinoff too.
I mean, at least with the like I said, I want more of this universe for sure. So we get whatever, I'm fine with it. Yeah, it should be pretty cool. There's one line that like I thought in my head that I would have been like, this would have been hilarious. It wouldn't work in this universe, but still been so funny. If when Selena was like, I might go to Blue Haven, if she would have been like, I hear there's a really good cake there.
Dude, speaking of that scene, did you understand what I meant about the motorcycle already being there and how dumb that was?
Yeah, I will say though, I noticed throughout the movie, his bike wasn't very loud. His car super loud, but that bike not the loudest. So I really do think he probably had a selfie bike nonsense going.
I don't know. I mean, it was right outside the door. She would have heard it, but I know you didn't like the chase scene, but man, I actually really liked the take on the Batmobile. Thought
No,
it
the
was
Batmobile
cool.
was awesome, but it's like it's another one of those things where like you have to toss logic out the door with it because like he's building up. It's like, oh, I got the jet engine on the back. It's so cool. And then it's like I think Penguin's driving like a Cadillac, and he like, and then like he's like, oh man, I'm having trouble keeping up.
Right. Well, there's our discussion.
Yeah, man.
Glad we finally got to have one.
One other thing that was very like this one, I have like I mean it looked cool, so I guess you can call it that. But the end when he like jumps on the big light, and then he like takes off his emblem and he cuts it. It's like if you just had batarangs, if you just had those, you wouldn't have to do this. I mean, I get it looks cool, but there's literally no reason for you to do this.
Well, hey, maybe in the Batman 2, he'll have someone be like, I don't want to get electrocuted again. So
Yeah.
I had some made.
Yeah, he sees Robin, he's like, this is why I have these. And he but that was also something I really liked that is 100% Batman from the comics is when the kid is dead at the beginning and he like takes extra time to look at the kid. I thought that was really cool. Then when he's saving people at the end, first one was like the kid, because the kid can smell that he's like, oh, we're both emotionally damaged, probably in the same way. You can help me, man.
Yeah. I like that a lot. I hope that continues and that we get some more just like just some Bruce Wayne stuff. Like he needs to develop to the point where he's like, oh, I also like I need to be Batman, but I need to do some of this stuff as Bruce Wayne too.
I'm hopeful for that too. I did like his heroing stuff. Like I said, that part where he saved the kid, the part where he saves that lady and the lady's like holding on to him. That was like a really good moment that would work probably in a Superman movie. But I don't think we're getting another one of those for a while.
So let's end on some real positivity. I want to hear your absolute most favorite thing about the movie.
Selena Kyle.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Like the girlfriend was sitting next to me. I'm like, oh, this isn't good.
That's funny. Did she say anything like, do you think she's pretty?
No, but I did show her Colin Farrell, like real Colin Farrell. I'm like, that was Oz. And she's like, who? I'm like, the penguin. She's like, who? I'm like, the dude with the weird face. And she's like, show me a side by side. So I found on like this one. She's like, oh, that's him.
That's so funny. The double who. So before we end our YouTube segment, I wanted to read the comment that we got from our last YouTube segment. So this is from Preston. He said, Casey, I'm so sorry for your horrible steak night and missing the Batman. And it's even worse that you were let down by your pizza. I've worked at pizza places, mostly Emo's and a few other similar places in late high school and my early 20s. And when we did make those pizzas, the order was crust or dough, sauce, meats, veggies, and then cheese. He said there were a few toppings we were told to put on top of the cheese, and one that I agree with is bacon. Hashtag Winnie the Poohing it.
Oh yeah.
So Preston, thanks for chiming in. I guess, I gave you my take when I worked pizza. It was different from Preston's take when he worked pizza. So I guess every place is different. And
I will say Papa John's has never done pepperoni under the cheese.
Yeah.
And that's just amateur hour, if you ask me.
The only meat that should go under the cheese is either sausage or ground beef. And that's it. Everything else needs to be on top.
I agree. Unless you're doing like the Chicago style,
that stuff. Man, I don't know. I don't care for that style too much.
I like it, like every once in a while, but I'm not going to be like, oh boy, it's a pizza time, Chicago style me up. I'm not going to be like that
ever. No, because who says that?
The people in Chicago. Idiot.
That's funny. All right. Welcome back, folks. If you want to hear Casey and I talk with all spoilers out the window, like this is full spoiler mode on the Batman and what we thought of it, then go check out our YouTube channel. That is Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube. Casey finally got to see it, and so we have ourselves a good old-fashioned conversation about it.
It gets heated. He calls me some mean names because, we just disagreed.
And I know that sounds very unlike us, but you'll just have to go find out for yourself.
Yeah. Tell your friends.
But now, on to the comics we read this week. Casey, I'll let you go first.
All right. I read Power Rangers number 17, The Amazing Spider-Man 92 Bay, The Crimson Cage number 4 or 5, Stillwater, The Escape number 1, World's Finest Batman Superman number 1, Batman the Knight 3 of 10, Blue and Gold 7 of 8, and The Flash 780. What about you, man?
I just realized that I forgot Blue and Gold. But I read A King's Vengeance number 2, Wonder Woman 785, Nightwing number 90, Batman the Knight number 3, and World's Finest number 1.
I didn't read Flash either. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, because I saw it was a tie-in for that event that I'm not reading, and so I passed on it.
Yeah. Okay, so I will start then, if that's okay with you.
It is.
Okay, so Power Rangers number 17 by Ryan Parrott and Marco Renna. And it's kind of funny. If you remember last time I was talking about the Mighty Morphin, and I was like, I don't like this. I gave it a really low rating. And it's 100% just character related because I like this a lot. I had a good time reading it. Basically, it's the Omega Rangers is the names they're going with, and they're just trying to figure stuff out, and it's setting up the next big story. It's a good time. I actually really enjoyed it. Gonna give it a 8 out of 10. It's very Power Rangers-y.
Okay. First up for me is A King's Vengeance number 2, and that was written by Davia LeBlanc and Peter Reek, and art was also done by Peter Reek. And I'm very sorry, but I don't know how to pronounce RICQ.
Yeah.
But anyway, This issue was pretty awesome. It's like a dark fantasy in every sense of the word. So everything is like very gothic and run down, and the weapons are kind of just brutal during these fight scenes, and there's like some creepy creatures and stuff like that. But I really liked it. Like the whole thing was a fight scene. The first issue ends with this character. He like goes to, I don't know if you remember me talking about this. He goes to confront the king, and it turns out it's his son, and his son just like destroys him, picks him up, chucks him out a window. Well, this one starts with him on like an operating table with some crazy old guy who's just like stitched other body parts onto him to make him whole again. And he's like, I'm giving you what you need for your revenge, but you got to do something for me too. And then the rest of the issue is just a big fight scene against like a high-ranking guy. And then he hops on his little velociraptor and heads off towards the castle again. So I don't know what's so special about him now that he's got other body parts, but I'm along for the ride. This was like so much more enjoyable than the first one, and I really, really like it. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Right on, man. Okay, so The Amazing Spider-Man 92 and this is by Jed McKay, Cody Ziegler, and Zeb Wells, all writing. And oh wow, there's a whole lot of artists. We got Luigi Zagaria, Bruno Oliveira, Fran Galan, Mark Bagley, and Mark Bagley has Wayne Foucher helping him. This is pretty cool. You get, Morbius and the Daughters of the Dragon teaming up to beat Lizard Morbius, like we talked about in the last issue. And then you got Monica Rambeau and Robot Man teaming up, which was a lot of fun. I would actually read their team book because I've liked Monica Rambeau. I've always really liked Robot Man. So this is
to the surprise of nobody.
Yeah. And I mean, we could just call them the Trench Coat Gang because I'm gonna find a good picture. Yeah, there we go. Like, perfect. Just get like a couple more guys in trench coats. Just have them blow stuff better up and walk away from it. Yeah, and then you get some other stories after that. You get like those other like the used to be Spider-Man, Spider-Man guys, but they're not Spider. They're like whatever. It's like Dusk, Ricochet, and the Hornet or whatever. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
these guys.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So you got these guys doing stuff with Beyond, and turns out they're gonna have to fight a Spider-Man, and yeah, then you get some old whatever, the Goblin Lady, Queen Goblin stuff. It was interesting. I actually like this book a good bit. The 3 different epilogues kind of got old. Like you could just stop with the Rambo and Robot Man stuff, and I would have been fine. But other than that, it was good. I'm gonna give this probably an 8. I liked it.
Okay. Next up for me is Nightwing number 90. It's written by old Tom Taylor with art by Geraldo Borges. And this issue, instead of getting Jonathan Kent, it is like a Flash team up, a Wally Flash team up. There's the long sigh before I get into my complaints.
That's too bad. When you said Wally team up, I was actually thinking Tommy T would be a good Wally writer. I could actually do this well. I was hoping.
Well, I'm starting with the negatives because there are parts that I liked. You remember when I was complaining about the Nightwing tie-in issue for that event they just did with Fear State.
Yeah.
And Dick and Barbara think that Stephanie and Cassandra get buried in the clock tower. So he's doing all this emotional, like, just blah, blah, blah. He does that crap again in this issue. Like, we're supposed to believe that Nightwing's dead. So Dick Grayson, knowing that he's had a hit out on him for the last 2 or 3 days in a row, continues to stay in an apartment building with a lot of other people. And Blockbuster hired like a military level like drone to bomb the apartment building. So Dick gets the heads up from Oracle, and he like pulls the fire alarm, gets everybody out of the building goes up. Flash, or let's see, what's Flash's wife's name?
Linda. I'm pretty
Linda.
sure.
Linda gets a notification on her phone that there was an explosion in Bloodhaven, and it was at Dick's place. So Wally zooms over there, and Wally gets there, and he's going through the rubble. And so Tom Taylor is like, the Flash is disassembling the entire collapsed burning building. He doesn't have super strength. He's just working as fast as he can. He'll do whatever it takes to get to me. He heals fast, but he's probably broken his finger several times. And just on and on for like 2 pages, right? And then Wally sees Nightwing and rushes over there at super speed and like gives him a big old hug. And it's just like, dude, why are you trying to make this emotional? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like annoying that we have to go through all this like super heavy emotional stuff when on the next page, we all know that Dick's not dead and under this building, and he's not writing this from Wally's perspective. It's from Dick's perspective. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Well, what I don't get too is like, I don't see Wally doing it that way. He can vibrate his molecules. He could go,
his monocles.
Yeah, his monocles just vibrating. He's like, I can see really well. But yeah, he can vibrate his molecules through the rubble and get them that way. Or he could turn his arms into old tornadoes and pull that way. Like, I don't see him doing the other, except for trying to make you feel something, which is what Tom.
Well, I mean, yeah, which is fine, but if he's going to do that, it would be way better if it was told from Wally's perspective.
Yeah,
but it's not, so it's lame. But anyway, Wally then basically makes Dick come back to Keystone and like sleep on the couch because he hasn't slept in days. And so there's some good moments with Linda and their kids and Dick's puppy that's there. And then while Dick is sleeping, Wally starts to like try and figure out who's trying to kill him, or how they can pin it on who's trying to kill him. And then Barbara gets kidnapped and they go to try and save her, and they get there and it's KG Beast, and then it ends. So we're at least going to get a part 2 with Wally. But at the same time, it's like, at this point, I really don't think Barbara needs Wally and Dick to save her from KG Beast. She can probably take care of KG Beast on her own. It's like, I don't know why he keeps. I know, but it's like, we have all these grand ideas from Tom about how Nightwing's going to fix everything, and then we take him away for Fear State. Now he's back. We've done 2 issues with Superman. Now we're going to do 2 issues with Nightwing. It's like, just tell your freaking story that you want to tell. We don't need Barbara getting kidnapped by the KG Beast. We really don't need Flash there, even if it's fun to see the 2 friends hang out. It's like, dude, we're like a year into you taking over this title, and we're still no closer to you having Dick change the whole world. So just get to it, man.
No, I agree. So I have a not crapping on Tom Taylor type of question really quick. Since you've read, all of Chucky D's run and Devin Grayson's run and everything, where Blockbuster was like the villain. It was like, Kingpin versus Daredevil. They shot him in the head and blah, blah, blah. But then now that like Tommy T's brought him back, and it seems like it's just kind of like a rehashing of Chucky D's stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, would you rather have it like, I don't know, you have him be mayor of Bloodhaven, like Kingpin is mayor of New York, just like basically because Blockbuster, let's be honest, rip off of Kingpin. So if they just do that instead of it just being like the same crap, would that be better in your opinion, or do you like the same crap over and over again?
I think it would be better because what they're doing now is like Blockbuster is controlling whoever is mayor. And it's like, okay, but why? Why not just have him be mayor? If he's pulling all the strings and nothing's tied to him anyways, then what is holding him back from just running for mayor?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want the same thing because there's nothing Tom Taylor can do that is going to make his stuff better than Dixon's stuff that's been done before. That's perfect. He doesn't need to touch that stuff again. But dude, it's so weird. I don't like crapping on writers unless it's like Bendis or Tom King, right? Because I like some stuff Tom Taylor's done. But when it's bad, man, it is just bad.
Yeah. No,
and it's frustrating.
It's
I'm only this worked up about it because I care about Nightwing that much.
Yeah. With Tommy T, I think he can only do like Elseworld stuff well. And that's because he's got free range to, kill anyone he wants. And I think that just makes him so happy. He just like, really brings it up a notch on his writing skills.
Yeah. I agree. I want to like this, but man, unless it improves, I'm gonna keep being this harsh on it. But it's just because I love the character. So
yeah.
But that being said, I liked this more than the Superman stuff. I just don't like the cheesy emotional stuff for no reason. So I will give it a 6.5, but it's still not great.
Right on. Okay, so The Crimson Cage, number 4 of 5 by John Lees and Alex Cormack. And this is a lot of fun. The art in it is wild. The story stuff is really cool. And it's kind of funny because so there's this part when I'm really bad at names. One of the main lady is wrestling this other lady and she gets bloodied, and then she's like, oh no, let's keep this match going, and that got the crowd really into it. And I don't know if that ever happened in the territory days, but it happens now with lady wrestlers. There's this one wrestler named Tay Conte, and she was, I don't remember who her tag team partner was, but she was then in a match with the Bunny and another lady wrestler, and they just beat the crap out of each other. And I don't think anyone was expecting this match to be as brutal as it was, but when you watch it, the Bunny's got her face just all blood everywhere and stuff, and by the end of it everyone was freaking out by how awesome it was. So it's this happens. I follow John Lee, so I know he is a wrestling nerd, so it's yeah, he's putting real wrestling crap into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this book is really cool, really horror-y, and it's really interesting. It feels crazy that it's only got one issue left though. So yeah, I don't really have any complaints. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Excellent. Glad you're liking it. All right, Wonder Woman 785. And you think that at this point, every single time we would have the creative team just like ready to go, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you'd
figured with
think.
Wonder Woman, you would know it by now, like by heart.
No, because they get different artists. It's sadly not Marcio anymore.
Oh, okay.
But it's written by Michael W. Conrad and Becky Cloonan, with art by Rosie Comp. And yeah, this is a lot of like Diana being upset that they haven't found out who killed old Hippolyta yet. And you know, obviously there's tensions are high already with all the different tribes being here for this thing. And one thing that didn't really make too much sense to me is the Bana Migdal tribe, which is Artemis's tribe, didn't choose Artemis to be their champion. They chose Donna Troy. And I just don't understand why. And maybe we'll figure that out later. And I mean, Artemis seemed fine with it. It's just like, I don't really know why Donna is like backing this tribe that I've never seen her deal with before. But anyway, and so obviously the Esquisita tribe chooses Yara Flor, and then the Themyscirans choose, oh gosh, why am I blanking on her name? She's been around enough. Philippus. So Philippus gets chosen by Queen Nubia, and then at the end, Diana yells for everybody to stop, and she shows up in like sort of a new costume. It's all like black and gold. It looks pretty cool. And she says that she's going to take part in the trial, but she is beholden to no one and will be a champion for no tribe, but for all Amazons. So
They're all just rolling their eyes like, oh God.
yeah, like
this.
Princess. Of course,
Yeah.
the princess wants in,
She's
right?
for everyone. Oh,
Yeah.
God, I hate her.
So yeah, we'll see what happens next. But it was pretty cool. This is like just enough fake politics that it's like intriguing, because I know that there's about to be a lot of cool action that follows it. And it is cool to see all the like Wonder ladies together in one place. So I like this a good bit. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
You know, you had the perfect chance to say the Wonder Women, but you went with ladies.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say women, but then I thought that's just not as fun as ladies.
Oh, okay, whatever, man.
Fun fact: Callan, our good friend Callan, used to help me out with poll lists whenever we first had the shop. And he didn't know any characters' names. So whenever it came to Wonder Woman, he unironically once called her Liberty Lady.
Nice.
And that always stuck as an inside joke after that. So, but I know without telling you that, if I said the Liberty Ladies, it would mean nothing. But in my head,
Yeah.
that's what I'm always thinking.
Right on. A Liberty Lady is a great name for, you know, like a Boom comic.
I know,
or a
right?
Valiant comic.
Agreed.
Okay, so next is Blue and Gold, number 7 of 8. And this is by Dan Jurgens with Phil Hester and Eric Gapster on art, and Paul Pelletier and Nor Rapmund on art. Yeah, so we get some Jaime in this, get some fighting. They vaporize a dude. It's a good time, but it's also still like they set up a new villain at the very end of this. There's one issue left. I don't know how this is gonna work.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling next issue I'm gonna be like, this feels rushed. But other than that, it's perfectly enjoyable. It's a nice, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like normally you'd have like Jaime and Ted being like, I am the better Blue Beetle. No, I am. This is just like, oh hey, thanks for helping us. No problem. I'm always here to help you. And it's
That
just
sounds wholesome.
yeah, it's just nice. So
Also, it's hilarious to think that a 9-issue series feels rushed by the end.
yeah, it's just like we said, they should have ended it. I think what was it, last issue?
Mhm.
Just ended it there, and then or just make this like never ending series. That'd be good too. But I'm gonna give it a 9. I like it, and I think the next issue I'm gonna be like, this is rushed. What are you doing, Daniel Jurgens?
I just have the Night and World's Finest.
Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna plug my computer up, and then I'll be ready to do this other stuff. Okay, next up is Stillwater #1, The Escape, and this is by Chip Zdarsky, Ramon K. Perez, Jason Liu, Andrew Wheeler, Ethan Young. I think that's all. Sue Lee. I think that's all of them. But it's a bunch of different stories from these different people that tried to escape. It's enjoyable. If you've been reading Stillwater, like there's no real reason that you have to read this. Like you're not gaining anything, but it's just kind of like a nice add-on to this universe, basically. So yeah, I really, really liked it though. Normally with these, like you'll be like, yeah, this story wasn't very good. But for the most part, they're all really good. I really, really like this. 9.5 out of 10.
Wow. High praise.
I don't know. This series has been really, really, really enjoyable. People should be reading it. And then next up is The Flash 780. And it's Jeremy Adams and Will Conrad on the art. So you got like, you might want to like skim this at the very least, Jake, because it does pick up right where the last one left off for us. Okay. So like Linda's zooming around. It's like a very Linda heavy issue. So all the Linda stands out there are like, finally,
all 4 of them.
But so like Flash brings the kids all back, and then Linda's like happy that they're there. She's on the phone with like before they get back, she's on the phone with Jay and like very upset because she doesn't know where anyone is. And then like when she's like, as they show up, she's like, Jay, they just showed up with Wally. Yes, I'll tell them their poppy is glad they're safe, but no, I won't go easy on them because they scared me to death. I'm like, that's wonderful. But yeah, so like Wally then has to deal with whatever the dude's name is from Earth 3, and then Mirror Master shows up too, and they fight for a little bit, and then that's it. It's good. Like I was worried because I'm not reading this event that this was going to be like real, like I wouldn't know what the heck was going on or anything.
That's exactly why I skipped it.
But Jeremy Adams does a very good job because it's like I'm assuming integral to the event, since like they're trying to get the cosmic treadmill. They're both fight, like the Mirror Master and what's his name are fighting over it, and Wally's just kind of there. Where it's also like not necessary to be reading this event, because it's just like, oh, here's these 2 guys. If I wanted to keep reading this, I could, but I'm probably not going to.
Right.
It's really, really good. This Jeremy Adams has been killing it for the most part for this series. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10. I liked it.
Okay.
Okay, what order do you want to do these 2 babies in?
Let's end on World's Finest.
All right.
All right, so Batman the Night, number 3. It's written by Chip Zdarsky and art by Carmine Di Giandomenico. And yeah, this was a pretty heavy Henry Ducard issue, but I thought that was cool personally.
Mhm.
I liked that character, and I genuinely thought that this was like the best issue yet. What did you think of it?
No, same exact thing. This is in my opinion the best issue yet. I think the next issue is gonna be better, but this was really really good. We get a lot of action. We get detective stuff. You get to hear Bruce tell Alfred he loves him. It's good.
Which is all we want, really.
Yeah. If we just had like Papa Alfred with son Bruce, and that was the whole comic, it would sell literally tens. It would be great.
What would you rate it?
I'm at another 9. I really liked it.
Same, dude. That's where I'm at with it too. Thought it was great.
Okay, so Superman or Batman and Superman World's Finest by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. Art was fantastic. What'd you think of this series though?
I thought it was really good, honestly. I liked it a whole bunch. Um, uh, I'm glad that it was only done the amount of times it was done, but the way Robin is kind of like, dude, I'm right here, like a couple times, you know what I mean? I thought
Mhm.
was funny. And also just very Mark Waid, in my opinion. But no, I thought this was great. The art is absolutely killer. I liked seeing, it's always kind of fun seeing Superman unhinged every now and then, right?
Yeah.
And then seeing Batman kind of bring him back from the brink is not it. You people would think it would be the other way around, and it works so well in this instance.
Yeah.
Plus, Doom Patrol. Ooh, that was
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, and Dan Mora drawing the Doom Patrol.
Yeah. Dude, I was not expecting to see them in this issue at all, but
Not at all.
all of it was so fun.
Yeah, no, it's enjoyable. I'll be honest, it's one of those things where you kind of have to, it's another one of those things where you have to turn your brain off for, because like injecting with the cocktail of red kryptonite, pretty silly. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. But I liked it a lot too. I
Here's what I'll say
mean,
about that though. World's Finest, the original, was an
mhm.
absolutely bonkers Silver Age comic. So I
Yeah.
think that's just Mark kind of like paying homage to that while also keeping it modern.
Yeah, he should have done like balls to the wall crazy then, where it's like Superman grew like 5 heads. They're all different personalities.
Hey, maybe it can come to that.
Yeah, let's hope so. Then you get the old Niles Calder though, like just to get like a hacksaw. He's like, we got to get rid of these heads.
That's awesome.
Or yeah, with this one though, man.
I mean, I think I liked it a little more than you. I had no complaints. I'm gonna give it a 10. Like this was everything I wanted in this book.
See, I think I had it hyped up too much for me personally. So I'm at an 8.5. It did not live up to like what I was hoping for. So maybe I need to come back and read it like in a couple days. But yeah.
I think it's a solid start, and I hope
Yeah,
that this
for sure.
series gets to go on for a long time.
I'm hoping this like leads to more Mark Waid in DC though.
Yeah.
Okay, man. What are you excited for this coming week?
Well, I think this one was probably on your list too, but Action is absolutely at the top of that list. And then I'm mildly interested in We Have Demons. That's a new book by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. So that should be fun. And then Probably Icon and Rocket. I think it's the final issue of season 1, so I've been digging that, and that one should be fun.
Nice. So
I
I'm gonna
already know
go.
one that's on your list.
Like 2 of the, or probably 3, all 3, if I'm being honest. Because Saga, obviously, Rogues #1. I'm super pumped for that book. That should be really, really great. And then Surprising No One, Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is gonna be awesome. So hyped.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it too. I'm looking forward to it.
Genuine question: how many variant covers are there? Did you get any for those?
I think there was an A and a B and then a 1 in 10. But honestly, I don't know. Remind me in your text of your list, and I'll let you have first grabs.
Okay. I mean, I don't even know what they are, so it's not like I'm like, oh, I have to have them. But I was just curious because like I know when Boom like launched Power Rangers the first time, it was like, all of the Power Rangers variant covers and stuff. So I'm like, are they doing something crazy for this?
So I'm thinking like when Power Rangers crossed over with both the Justice League and the Turtles, there was like a variant cover where there was one turtle with one ranger or one leaguer with one ranger. Imagine one ranger and one kaiju. Like that
That'd be
could
awesome.
be awesome.
Yeah.
They probably didn't
that.
do that, but who knows?
Yeah. I mean, Matt Frank has to get in on this, right? Like,
I would
like
think
there has to be something where it's like, no, legally, because me and Toho are best friends. I have to do at least one cover.
Right.
All right, man. So like a couple weeks ago, me and the girlfriend went to Nashville, which is like country music capital of the world. So I was just thinking, what superheroes would be like top-notch country singers? If you have like crazy reasoning why, you get more points for that.
Well, I'm never nearly as prepared as you are. You always have some real dandies, but the first one that comes to mind isn't actually a superhero, it's a villain. And that
works
is
too.
Stallion, who is a Nightwing villain. And he's just a sort of, well, he used to be a sort of rough and tumble cowboy looking guy. And, he just kind of fits the bill. And next is an obvious Marvel pick, and that's the Rawhide Kid. I mean, you could choose like Kid Colt or Two Gun Kid or any of those like Marvel super or like Marvel Western comics, but I think Rawhide might have been one of the first. And then on the flip side, when it comes to DC, I think of Batlash. I think he'd be a pretty good country singer. And I don't know if this counts or not, but I'm going to say Clark Kent because, a farm boy. He's classically handsome. The ladies would be all about him. He could just sing about life on his Kansas farm, and I think he'd sell albums.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you get just Superman. Like that was one of my thoughts. Is like as the country singer, like he's like I grew up baling hay. My planet's destroyed. I got a dog. Like that's country music right there.
Yeah.
And then Wolverine, like we talked about this before the show. He's also, because it's just like, yeah, he's probably been dumped before. He drinks beer. He probably has a truck. Again, country music.
He's got the look down. It's always like a wife beater and an unbuttoned like shirt over it.
The only thing that like gives him a knock is he's Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't know if Canadian country music is a big thing out there. And then another Canadian that I'm also like putting in would be Puck. If you've lived a life like Puck, you could write some really good country music.
That's true. I mean, he's been to hell. He's ruled hell.
Yeah. He was in the Alamo, I think. So I mean, he's heard the music.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of a last one. I'm going to go with Jenny Hex.
You're related to old Hexy. You probably got some country music up in your bones that you could belt out.
Yeah, I agree. I thought of Jonah when making my list.
I just don't picture Jonah as much of a singer.
Oh yeah, well that's why I didn't pick him. All right. Let's get into the closing plugs then. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And also please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is just 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube. And maybe let us know which characters you think would make the best country singers.
Yeah. And give us like song ideas too for them.
Ooh.
Get really creative.
Points. Here's the thing. If you comment a character and a song like theme, I will write one verse to that song and recite it on this podcast.
Here's another thing just to sweeten the pot. If we get up to 50 views on this video, we will both cosplay said character and duet this.
Thank goodness you set the bar high at 50.
I know.
All right.
So tell your
guys.
friends.
Tell your friends. And, we'd love to stay and chat, but Casey here has to teach me how to slay monsters. So we'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.